You know, folks, they say all roads lead to Rome. And the road that we've been traveling has been bumpy and rocky for quite a while. But we have reached the end of our reviews here on Jupiter's CROCK of HBO's Rome television show. My name is Matthew, joined once again by Ronan.
You don't get to pick the shows anymore! He's like, that ability has been taken away from you.
Fair. If I don't have to expend any more energy and you guys do all the work on it, fair. I'm fine with it. And the man who is not happy to be here really right now at all, who has lost all interest in the show 110%, is Plodicus himself, Steve.
So once again, you two have both forgotten that I'm the one that picked this show.
but Matt started it.
That's the second time that this has happened. That you two that Ronan has accused Matt of picking this show, and Matt has willingly taken the blame for it.
That's because Matt knows. Because Matt knows what. Because Matt in a long con, he's like, I'm gonna fuck this Ronan guy over with this show. I'm gonna play the long game. I'm gonna talk about how great it is. I'm going to whisper these words into my good friend Steve.
I don't like it anymore.
But you
God, look at all those 8s and 6s.
But it started that way.
Everyone would flopped a full house.
No, it never
you
started
bewitched Steve, and Steve
I
picked
would
this
have
show.
won that if I had stated.
I didn't bewitch Steve. I don't have the powers of bewitchment over Steve. That's not true. So yeah, folks, we are here. We are at the end. I didn't even look up what this episode's called.
About your father. I don't know.
About your father.
I'll let you try and say the Latin for that.
I'm not going to try. No, I'm not going to try. About your father, the English translation of the Latin phrase. Now, last episode, look, we had something to look forward to. Yeah, the naval battle, the epic naval battle. So at least we're going to have that. But before we get to the naval battle and all the coolness about it, what were you guys looking for in this final episode? I'm going to start with Steve first. We've gone through however many hours of this show. You were completely uninterested at this point, which you've said multiple times at this point. But was there something that you were like, okay, at the very least, I need this final show to give me X, Y, or Z? Like, what were you looking for in the wrap-up?
I wanted to see Octavian just completely ascend to the height of Roman power. At least pay that off. Don't end again. I watched this episode twice now, so watching it again recently to record. I knew what to expect, but the first time I saw it, I was like, at least pay that off. Don't end the series where Octavian still has enemies to go fight before he becomes Augustus.
Okay, I think it's fair. Ronan, what were you looking for in this final episode?
The credits. That's what I was looking for.
Fair.
But Steve didn't say that. When you asked Steve, like, Steve's going to say the credits, isn't he? He didn't. Yes, I'm good. So he didn't steal it. Yes.
What I was looking for in this final episode was the resolution of Mark Antony and Cleopatra's demise, because of course it's very famous historically what allegedly happened between them. So I was actually most looking forward to sort of seeing how that all played out and whether or not the show was going to alter or change or do any of that stuff. So that's what I was looking forward to. Any other final comments before we discuss the fucking naval scene? Man,
fuck this guy! I just won. That was nice. That was nice on me. Good poker playing. Continue.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it.
Something was wrong with my HBO Max because the episode kept starting like in the middle of the episode. Like I missed. What happened in the first 20 minutes before Mark Antony is fleeing from the battle that was lost? I didn't get to see it, so I assumed that I need you guys to tell me how the naval battle was because I just couldn't get it to play.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ronan.
Punting this to me, god damn it. So what happens is at the start of the show, their ship's sinking and everything, and it's Mark Antony bravely fleeing from.
There wasn't a fucking.
There was no boat battle. We lied to you. That's right, listener. We lied to you. We're frauds. We're hack frauds.
Kidding me? Like that was when I watched this episode the first time. It just begins with the battle is lost and Mark Antony is on a small boat running away from the battle. And my actual thought was, are you fucking kidding me? No, the show was not kidding. They just an entire fucking battle. Like what the most important battle, the one that finally puts the nail in the Mark Antony coffin, happened off screen between episodes.
Yep. I was honestly I was not shocked by it because like every other battle they had done this. Like with the slight exception, there was a little bit with Brutus, but
it's the series finale.
How
could you do this?
I totally was like they're not going to show us anything. Like I had some information about this show before I started watching it, but I genuinely didn't know that like they skimp out on all the battles. But I just learned enough from the previous season and every episode up to this. Like they don't do it. They're not going to do it. They don't have the stomach to show to show old world battle scenes. They would rather spend that money on sets that will burn.
What I think is kind of sad about this whole thing is that part of the appeal of ancient Rome for just average people and historians and stuff is the military component of it, because the military component is literally how Rome became Rome in the first place. Without their military and their tactics and how they sort of, took over all this land, we would not even be having a show called Rome because no one would give a shit.
Honestly, we may not have
a show called Macedonia.
We may not. We can get real. We may not have society today as it stands now, if not for the way Rome operated, because so much of modern society comes from Rome.
When you put it like that, I kind of wish Rome had failed. I don't know that I want today's society.
I mean, it did fail.
It's so sad. It's like you can give us 5 minutes of a battle scene. I don't need to see the entire naval battle scene from when the boats first get onto the Mediterranean and all of that. Just give me a little bit of this is how the battle was lost. We don't even know how the battle was lost. We have no fucking clue. There was no setup
The last time we saw Octavian on a battlefield, he had no fucking idea what he was doing. He deferred to Mark Antony in every situation. He had nothing. He knew nothing of he knew fuck about fuck, and that was it. And suddenly, he's won a naval battle against one of Rome's greatest military people.
Yeah, and we've never even seen Mark Antony. Fighting a battle on land is much different than fighting a battle at sea. We've never been established that Mark Antony has any idea what he's doing on the sea. We've never been established that Octavian has any idea what's going on a sea battle. We've not been introduced to any other characters that would be sort of plotting and planning. This is how we're going to take. We have no idea. We've never even seen a boat, really, other than Adia and Octavia showing up on one at a dock. And, I think that's, it starts this episode on such a down, emotional thing. Because I was like, oh, I had forgotten. There's literally nothing. Literally nothing. And from that point forward, I did not give a fuck about what happened.
Welcome to the club, brother. Welcome to the not give a fuck club.
I was like, man, I'm so just deflated by not getting one of the things I really wanted to see. And all right, so now we're just gonna watch Mark Antony be drugged out of his mind for the next.
Thrilling. Aren't you excited for that, Matt? Aren't you
super
fucking excited
to hear? I'm super excied to hear Steve work his way through it. That's what I'm excited for. So, Steve, no naval battle.
No naval battle. Let's get into it. Varinus and Mark Antony survive. They're fleeing. Mark Antony is completely distraught. But he heals himself spiritually by organizing another orgy inside the Egyptian courtyard. And there's a Roman courier of some sort that is relaying messages between Mark Antony and Octavian, trying to get them to come to terms of surrender. The terms that Mark Antony has offered are, me and Cleopatra will just leave. We will leave. We will live a quiet life. We will never involve ourselves in politics again. Just leave us alone. Let Cleopatra's children ascend to the Egyptian throne, and they're basically yours to manipulate as you see fit. Just let us go. Let Cleopatra's bloodline continue to exist, and we will disappear. And Octavian says, absolutely the fuck not. The only terms I will accept are Mark Antony and Cleopatra come out and present themselves to me without any strings attached. And of course, Mark Antony is not.
He's a Roman. He knows what that means.
Yeah, Mark Antony is not going to agree to that. Octavian also knows that Varenus is in there, and he has brought Titus Pullo with him. But we didn't talk about it in the last episode, but there's a scene in the last episode where Octavian's like, "You'll come with me because maybe you can talk some sense into Varenus." It's like, I won't order you to come with me.
I will if I have to.
No, I will order you to come with me, but I don't want to. So I just, your best buddy Titus Pullo, I need you to just agree to come with me, and Pullo
That's
does.
still kind of an order, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely an ultimatum. Like, you can either come willingly, finger
like,
quotes, or I will force you to.
There's no scenario in which me as your bro is not going to let you go.
Yeah.
So I just want to feel better about myself by hearing you say the words, "Yeah, I'll go."
Right.
Yeah. No, it's emotional manipulation, 100%.
So Titus Pullo is there, and Octavian's like, "Look, if people don't come out, I'm going to have to lay siege to the Egyptian palace. I will burn it down with everyone in there unless this is resolved in a more peaceful way." So he says, Titus Pullo, "Hey, is there any message that you could send to Varenus to get Varenus to just open the gates and let us in?" And Pullo says no, but he's still going to pass the message on anyway. And he says, Tell Varenus that his children are well, and I hope my son is also well." And everyone looks at Pullo. It's like, "When did you get a kid?"
It's an inside joke.
Inside joke. Pullo is talking about Caesarion. Like, I don't know that. I mean, we get no confirmation one way or the other, but Pullo has no reason to believe that Caesarion is not his kid. And so the courier takes the message back inside, tells Varenus about all this, and Varenus is like, "Nope, I'm still loyal." Varenus is loyal to a fault. So
I am Varenus. I think Pullo even mentions that to Octavian, right? Where he's just like, "Dude, he's not going to do anything." Because
he tells him that.
It's Varenus. Come on, it's Varenus. We know who he is and what he's going to do.
Yeah, and so this plan falls through. Varenus is not going to turn on Mark Antony. Like, he takes his oaths very seriously. As long as they're not towards his family, then he could give fuck all about it.
Yeah, then he'll just abandon them. Yeah.
But the courier brings two messages in. One is telling Mark Antony that Caesar or Octavian says no, like, you're going to come outside and you're probably going to fucking die. Mark Antony, I don't remember if it's this courier goes back and forth several times. I don't remember if it's in this segment or the next one, but eventually Mark Antony tells the courier to tell Octavian that Mark Antony challenges Octavian to one-on-one battle. Like a winner-take-all one-on-one fight. And Mark Antony's like, "Fuck yeah, I got him. He's
totally going to do that.
He's going to do this. He can't afford to lose the honor." Spoiler, Octavian gives no fucks about this stupid challenge.
It's Eric Bischoff challenging Vince McMahon to a fight and having Hulk Hogan whisper into his ear, "No, Vince is totally going to do this. Yeah, he's absolutely going to show up and beat your ass. He's going to do it totally." And like when he never was. That's what this moment is, except there's no one whispering in his ear. He genuinely thinks, because of drugs, that
he's super high.
Yeah, it's like, and the courier mentions that too, because like Caesar's buddy just kind of laughs when he hears that challenge. It's like, and I think he again says, it's like, he's off his fucking rocker. He's lost his mind. Like they all openly laugh at this challenge.
Is sober, like, because the courier mentions that Cleopatra's sober.
And that gives Octavian another idea. So he sends a message in. The message is to go solely to Cleopatra. Mark Antony is not supposed to know this. And that message is, hey, if you kill Mark Antony, get him to kill himself, basically just turn on Mark Antony and surrender, essentially, I'll leave you alone. Like, you'll remain the queen of Egypt. Your children will be safe. I just want Mark Antony you give me Mark Antony, give me to him live or dead, I don't care. Like, that will be the end of this war. And so now Cleopatra hatches the plan. And Cleopatra is not happy about this. Let me back up a second. Mark Antony and Cleopatra are talking about, like, how do we get out of this? Cleopatra's like, isn't there some, like, special military maneuver that you can do to fix this? And Mark Antony's like, no, I'm not a magician. Like, I've lost. And so Mark Antony says the only, like, out available to us is death. You know, let's kill ourselves. So that happens before, and now Cleopatra's got this message from Octavian saying basically, you know, turn on Mark Antony and I will leave you alone. And Cleopatra is distraught. Like, she genuinely has some sort of feelings for Mark Antony, but she is convinced by, like, her main slave that it's better for Cleopatra to live. You know, choose your life, and, you know, if you're dishonored before the gods, you'll figure it out then. So now Cleopatra hatches a plan. Cleopatra pretends to commit suicide and sends...
This is a dumbass plan.
I mean, it worked. It worked initially anyway. Cleopatra pretends to commit suicide. And then Cleopatra's main slave covers herself in blood and goes to Mark Antony the next day and is like, I'm so sorry, Cleopatra, she decided to go without you. She couldn't face you. This takes place after
their weird victory orgy.
Yeah, the weird not victory orgy where Octavian has turned down the one-on-one fight. And I think Matt brought this up last episode where Mark Antony, still high off his fucking ass, is like, Varenus, let's practice. And so they have, like, a sword battle where Mark Antony loses, which causes one of the people, I don't know who this guy is.
It's just a guy.
Just some random guy. Why did I call that? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I did not mean to push that button. Anyways, so Mark Antony challenges this guy who laughed to a sword fight and kills him. And Mark Antony, again, high as a fucking kite, like, fuck yeah, I'm a badass, and everyone cheers for him. So now it's the next day. Cleopatra is dead, air quotes. And so Mark Antony is like, well, I have nothing now. Like, I'm going to just kill myself. And so he has Varenus assist him. And so Varenus, fuck it, I'll just buy back in. I don't give a shit. It's just money. Varenus
spoken like a 1%er, Steve.
Capitalism.
Like, I had a good hand starting out, and I got actually fuck all. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. I'll buy back in. Varenus, like, holds the sword and, like, allows Mark Antony to, like, plunge himself onto it. So Mark Antony has died, and he tells, Varenus, tell the people that I died well, that I died like a Roman, and Varenus is going to grant this request. Varenus, like, dresses Mark Antony's body in his Roman battle gear.
And, I like that scene. I like that scene, and I like the scene before this at one point when it's just Varenus and Mark Antony, like, everyone's passed out, whatever, and they're just having, like, they're sharing, like, memories of previous battles together, and, like, do you believe in the gods? And I like when Mark Antony's like, some people will say the gods don't exist, and that we're just when we die, we just die. That whole sequence was good too.
I mean, that's true. That because the resolution to each conversation is fuck them. It's like, yeah, Mark Antony's like, hey, do you remember that one guy that we used to know way back when? And Varenus is like, fuck him. And then Mark Antony's like, some people say that the afterlife isn't real. Who says that? Learned men. Fuck them. That's a funny scene.
That's a good scene.
So Mark Antony is dead. He's been dressed in his gear. He's been put on the throne. And then in comes Cleopatra.
Who seems shocked by this.
See, I thought she was shocked. I thought I guess when I was watching it, I thought the assistant did all this without Cleopatra's knowledge. That's what I thought, but I guess I was wrong about that.
No,
I don't-
Cleopatra was in on this because later
Yeah,
on
see,
she says to Mark Antony's body, like, "I'm sorry, I lied to you. You were right, and Octavian's a monster."
Yeah.
Cleopatra was in on this.
Yeah, it just seemed when I was watching at the
Yeah,
time.
but the way
I
the
thought that-
actress plays this, she seems like genuinely stunned. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck do you think was
she
going to
sa-
happen?
She genuinely loved Mark Antony. She's allowed to have feelings about seeing his corpse, even if she orchestrated it.
No, she's not allowed that, Steve. Because
I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Confuses
She's not
the
allowed
viewer.
to feel anything.
Yeah.
I thought it was shock. I'm with Ronan. I thought she was shocked.
No, I was not confused at all. I think she did not want to pull the trigger on this.
Look at you paying
But-
full attention to this show.
Yeah.
She did not want to pull the trigger on this, but ultimately was talked into it and now has to live with the consequences, which is dead husband. Like, she's not happy about that, even if she thought that it was her only play.
No,
I mean, I
it was a
defer
dumb
to you.
play.
You're watching it a lot closer than me.
Yeah, you're
right,
the
well-
madman who watched this episode twice. I don't know why anyone.
I mean,
would
Matt's
do that.
also watched it twice.
Well, but yeah, that's why you're both to blame.
Matt watched all this twice. Anyways, Cleopatra is distraught, but she apologizes to Mark Antony's corpse, and Varinus is just fucking staring her down, and she says, "Does Varinus wish to speak?" He's like, "Nope." He's like, and she says, "Then look away from me." And he's
And he
like,
doesn't.
"Nope." And he goes to, and she's like, "What's your fucking problem?" And he tells her, "I should open your fucking stomach right now." He is livid that Mark Antony killed himself based on a lie. But Cleopatra says, "Well, you should have killed yourself too." And he says, "I can't, because now I have to take Caesarion and flee." And she's like, "What do you mean flee? Like, yeah, I made peace with Octavian." And Varinus is just like, "You stupid motherfucker. He is not going to like agree. He's not going to honor this deal. Like, he's going to kill Octavian, and the rest of you are going to be put in chains." And Cleopatra's like,
He'll
"No."
kill Caesarion.
He'll kill Caesarion, but the rest of Cleopatra's family will be, imprisoned or basically like
Paraded through Rome.
But yeah, paraded through Rome. They're going to lose. Yeah. And Cleopatra still doesn't really believe him. I think she's still holding on hope that Octavian's going to honor the deal, but she knows that Caesarion is fucked, and so she agrees to let Varinus take Caesarion and flee to protect Caesarion. So they are on the run now. Then Octavian comes in. It's like the next day, Octavian comes in, and he's like, "Oh, Cleopatra, I know you were a victim of Mark Antony. It's all good now. We're gonna be completely fine. We're gonna be best buds." And they make peace. They're on the same page for about 15 seconds, and then Octavian's like, just one thing though,
Do me a
would
favor.
you do me the honor? Would you grant your new friend one favor and come to Rome? And Cleopatra says, "Well, maybe next year. I think that's a good idea for me to go and visit Rome again. But next year, after the grieving period for Mark Antony is over, because Mark Antony, he was totally in charge. He's the one that did all these bad things. But he was still my husband, and I have to grieve for him. So next year, I will come to Rome." And Octavian's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. But what's a
Well, you're
better
gonna
idea?
come with me right now. Is really.
How about you come to Rome tomorrow?" And Cleopatra realizes that fuck, everyone was right.
And you can see it on her face, too. The actress did a good job because she's just like, okay, all right.
Yep, she knows she is fucked. She knows that everyone was right about Octavian. He has no interest in actually preserving her for Egypt. So Cleopatra runs back to Mark Antony's corpse again, apologizes, but now she is going to kill herself, and she chooses to take a snake bite to the titty, because that will have the least amount of discoloration and
It'll leave the
bloating.
best looking corpse, basically, is what they're getting at.
Yeah. And so here's a great scene. And, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, where we were calling out Octavian for just his awkwardness.
God.
I'm out.
Nope. I had a
Do I
nice
go
hand
all
too,
in,
but
guys?
fuck you.
Do I dare
It's just
play
money,
this?
Matt.
I mean,
Do it.
You're my bros.
It's just money, Matt. Do it.
Do it.
Okay, you guys are both out.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm
out.
a pair of jacks.
I
Do
had
do
ace.
this?
I had ace jack, both of them
Do it.
hearts, but
Do
I was
it.
like,
Do
nope.
it.
Okay, I'm
Do
doing
it.
it.
Do it.
I'm doing it. Here we go.
I say this as I've been
fuck,
burned
he's
by
got one.
I've been burned by pocket jacks like 3 times tonight, so you're probably fucked.
Yeah, I had a jack. He has a jack. That's it. That's what the other ones are.
Yep. Well,
Still.
Matt
no.
needs a jack.
But he's not going to get
wait,
one. I have the other one.
No, I'm
Oh.
ahead. Am I ahead?
Yeah, where you
Did I
go?
win?
The other guy has a pair of kings.
Oh fuck!
And
No,
a
he got a
flush.
flush.
Yeah,
Mother. Oh God.
So, anyways, we were talking
this
about
game.
how awkward and
Why do we do this to each other?
because sometimes it's funny. We were talking about in a previous episode how like weird and awkward and like just not personable Octavian is. And so before Cleopatra kills herself, Octavian goes back to his camp with his friends Agrippa and other guy whose names we still don't know, and everyone's just kind of giving him shit like, wow, like you really fucking botched that. And Octavian, look, what are you talking about?
I was personable and jolly.
Yeah, I was on my best behavior. My words dripped honey and gold, and everyone just kind of laughs. It's like, yeah, that's when you're least believable, or that's when everyone knows you the most suck. So I love that scene where he thinks he did a good job being likable, and his friends are like, fuck idiot. They shit on him.
Yeah. And then he goes running like, oh shit, we better go running to see what's happening here.
This is just not unique to this show, but this is just a trope I love in storytelling where there's some ultra powerful person that will absolutely fucking have you tortured and killed, but he's also got a friend that is in such there's in his good graces so much that the friend is allowed to shit on him a little bit. Like Posca had that relationship with Caesar back in season 1, and I really like that as well. But anyways, so they rush back in because Octavian's like, oh wait, my friends are right. I do kind of suck when I'm being nice to people. So they rush back in, and Cleopatra is on her way to death. And she, before she dies, she tells Octavian, "You have a rotten soul." And it seems like that actually like bothers Octavian a little bit. But now. So what's going to happen? Octavian goes back to Rome. He brings the 2 children of Cleopatra by Mark Antony and just gives them to Octavia. It's like, hey, I brought these kids with me. You want them? and Octavian's like, Octavia has just no real recourse other than to say yes. And she's like, oh, you're gonna present yourself as merciful by having these 2 children. That's a good idea. But prior to this, he went to Pullo, and he's like, "Hey, Varenus left with."
Yeah, they were still in Egypt when this happened.
Yeah, they were still in Egypt. So I jumped ahead. So Pullo and Octavian are still in Egypt, and Octavian's like, "Hey, Varenus and Caesarion are still a problem. Like, I'm still, even after all this, I'm willing to forgive Varenus, but Caesarion has to die." And Pullo knows there's a chance that Caesarion is his kid, so he agrees to go hunt them down. Just to to have the chance to protect his kid. So Pullo immediately finds Varenus. There was some scene where I've watched this twice now where Pullo like finds like a picture or like a carving of something that he recognizes as belonging to Varenus. I don't know if it's a picture of Niobe or one of his daughters, but then he just immediately finds Varenus in Caesarion. Like, was that a message? Did Pullo just get lucky and find them, or did
I don't know?
I'm assuming that he found them, but he found Varenus because they've been bros for so long, they served for so long, and it wouldn't shock me if where he's camped out at is like supposed to be the same spot or roughly the same area where when they were watching Cleopatra within the context of this show years ago. Like I'm just assuming that he was able to track him down because of their bromance. Because like, I know how he thinks.
Steve, it's probably their pyramid corners in Egypt, and they just know. Okay, when shit's about to go down, pyramid corners. That's where we all meet.
I need a 7. I did not get.
You're not gonna get one.
Yeah.
Faces
Anyways,
of death meet you.
As he should have. But anyways, Pullo just finds him. He finds some knick-knack that he recognizes as belonging to Verinus, and then he finds Verinus. I have no idea if these two things are connected. But Pullo has no interest in actually carrying out Octavian's orders. So now the three of them, Pullo, Verinus, and Caesarion, are going to flee. Verinus is not going with them. He's still. I'm just going to go further east and figure my shit out up there. But that all changes when they go to a Roman checkpoint, and Caesarion outs himself as Caesarion, which causes Pullo and Verinus to have to fight off these Roman guards. They are successful, but Verinus gets stabbed and says, take me home. I want to see my children again. So another month goes by.
That scene. Hold on real quick before you go on to it. I like that scene because Verinus gets stabbed all the way through his chest, like the beginning of that fight, and the two of them still take down like 20 fully armored like Roman soldiers. Like, okay, they gave them one last badass moment for these two, which I actually enjoyed.
Yes, for these two characters
that fucking kid though, God.
Yeah, for these two characters that do not deserve a hurrah moment, they get a hurrah moment. Yes, this was great storytelling.
Oh, man.
Children
God,
ruin everything.
I
think
just
everyone
keep
agrees
busting
to that.
out.
Yeah, we are. I have had to buy in twice now, so I'm 10,000 down.
I have not busted out.
I'm
I have not busted out once. I've doubled my money.
So, anyways, Verinus is dying now, and so he says, "Take me home." It's like another month goes by, or another 2 months, and somehow Verinus
survived.
It survives with just a bad stab wound in his back. Makes it home to Rome, where he just gets a brief moment to reconcile with his kids. Octavian is going to have a triumph, and this is. I think Matt wanted to talk about this scene with all of the ladies in Octavian's life are kind of jockeying for position, including Adia.
Yeah, it was very, very cool because Adia is completely crushed when she finds out like Mark Antony's dead. She's like despondent. She doesn't want to do anything at all, and Octavia's like, come on, like, you got to get back on the horse or whatever, and Addie is having none of it. And then there's this whole sequence when they're about ready to go out for this triumph, and the girl whose boobs Steve does not want to look at, she's like, hey, we're going to lead all...
Is she ever given a name?
Livia.
Oh,
Livia, okay. Livia. So Livia is going through the motions here, and then Adia shows up, and I love this sort of thing because it reminded me of, well, you guys won't get the reference, so I won't even mention it. It was going to be an Andor reference.
I'm about to say it's fucking Star Wars, isn't it? It's fucking Star Wars. It's always Star Wars with you.
So anyway, there's this great moment where Adia kind of looks at Livia, and they have this moment where Adia's like, you're gonna try to fucking kill me later on. I know you, because she recognizes like herself in Livia, and then I love when she's like, better women than you have tried and failed, or something like that, and then she actually leads out the procession of women for the triumph, which I really liked. I thought that was a really cool scene for all of them. Yeah, and Octavia's like smiling during it because she recognizes the dynamic that's going on here. It's cool.
Yep. So Octavian is having his triumph. His mom is apparently gonna go down fighting, not going to just give in to Livia. The last scene is so I think Verinus died. I mean, he has a very brief moment with his kids. And presumably after a month of a bleeding back wound, he should probably be dead. But we don't actually like see a corpse or anything. But the actual like end is Pullo goes to Octavian, and Octavian's like, "Holy shit, we all thought you were dead." They have like a moment where they kind of like they're good friends. Pullo, then they're such good friends that Pullo just immediately just fucking lies to Octavian's face. Octavian asks about Caesarion. And Pullo says, yeah, I slit his throat and cut his head off. I was going to bring his head back, but it rotted too much to where it would have been, you wouldn't have known who it was, so I just threw it away. Also, Verinus died, so everything is wrapped up in a neat little bow. And Octavian's like, cool, I like neat little bows, and just accepts it. So Pullo lies to Octavian. Octavian buys the lie. And then Pullo leaves, and here comes Caesarion.
Gives
And
him a reward, right?
Yeah, he says like, I suppose you want your reward, and like, Polo's like, oh well, I wasn't thinking about one, but I'm certainly not going to turn it down.
We don't see
Yeah.
what the reward is. He's got like a
we don't see
little
what the
bag
reward
of
is.
coins or something, and he gives to a homeless person or something at the end.
He gives them one
Yes.
coin. He doesn't give them everything.
I mean, it was gold. It's probably worth a lot. So, anyways, here comes Caesarion, and Caesarion is like swearing vengeance on Octavian, and Pullo's like, "Look, just fucking give it up. You're not going to get revenge." And I think Caesarion says something like, "I'm going to be just like my father," and Pullo says, "About your dad."
About
And
your father,
that's-
He said it. He said the line.
And that is the end of the series. Presumably, Pullo might reveal Caesarion's like true parentage, but we don't actually know because the show was canceled. The end. Fuck this noise.
Thank fucking God.
Okay, so overall, Steve, your thoughts on Rome?
I was so fucking furious at the lack of a battle. Even the lack of the end of a battle to open the scene that I just did not give a shit about anything else. Like what you asked me in the last episode, like what was, or maybe it was the early episode, I don't know. At some point in this or the last episode, you asked me like, what was I wanting to see in episode 10? And I told you I wanted to actually see Octavian ascend to the heights of Roman power. I didn't want the show to end where he still has enemies to go off and fight. I got that, so I can hang my hat on that. Octavian is in charge. He was the only character that I still cared about in season 2. So he is, for all intents and purposes, one, and I'm cool with that. But skipping the opening battle left such a bad taste in my mouth that I just gave no fucks about any of the rest of this. I didn't give a shit about Mark Antony. I didn't give a shit about Cleopatra. I didn't give a shit about Vernus or Pullo. Definitely am tired of seeing all of their fucking kids in this series. I was so high on this show in early season 1, and I look back on that now like I was a different person, because now I never want anything to do with this series again.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel, though. Ronan, your thoughts on this episode?
This goes into there's another notch on the Ronan was right hashtag. You guys get that moving on your Twitters and stuff. Because I was hating on this, early season 1. Like, no, this show's not going to give it to you. This show's going to be, and it only got more and more right from there. It only felt better and better to eventually hear. I don't know which one of you broke first and who broke the other one thereafter, but it was nice to see the crack start to form. I'm just sitting here in the back, like that Jim Halpert scene from The Office, looking through the blinds, slowly closing them with a smile on my face, watching.
Listen to this guy, Steve, reveling in the destruction of our happiness and enjoyment. Like, what kind of friend is like, I am sitting there like loving your
I had
misery.
to find something to take joy in, because I sure as fuck didn't get it from this goddamn show.
Well, I think we talked about this in a previous episode. Like, Ronan and I, no matter what happens for the rest of our lives, we have taken Matt's joy of Rome away from him.
Yeah,
and he can't get that back.
Yeah,
we're not assholes. You're the
fact that you are happy about that makes you an asshole.
It's great. And this also
you guys are like the Pullo and Varinus of this friendship here.
This is also just it's another notch in the list of why when Matt recommends a show or a movie, I can't take him seriously anymore, because for decades you've been talking about how great Rome is whenever we talk about Spartacus, and it was in fact a lie. So I just can't take it.
It wasn't a lie. In my head, it was great. And revisiting it 2 decades later, after seeing lots and lots of better storytelling in this kind of setting and world, I recognize I could have sat here and be like, no, guys, this is great. You're not understanding and blah, blah, blah.
You should have done that for the bit.
Yeah.
Well, I owned up to it, and I said, look, yeah, it's not living up to what I remembered it being. I apologize.
It was a nice moment to hear you say that a couple episodes back. What was where you first like, yeah, this I don't think this is living up to what I remember it being. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, look. The thing about it is, you can't lie about it. It's okay. Like, if you really thought you loved something and you revisit it, and you're like, actually, no, you don't have to act and put on pretenses and pretend that it's
Revisiting this
good.
friendship.
You can just be like, yeah, Steve isn't that great, and I recognize it. You can say that, right? It's totally fine.
No, where this show really crumbles apart is because the last one we did was Spartacus, so I don't know if it's a fair comparison to compare these two shows, but it kind of is to me, because Spartacus on average per episode costs $2 million per episode, and Rome per episode costs substantially more to make. And they somehow completely fucked up on the writing, because all of these characters, and because again, this was me from the get-go. I was like, I don't like any of these characters; they're not written well. That's always been my thing from the start, except for like Titus and Varenus, who started off kind of likable and eventually became awful. But they're not written well enough for you to enjoy them. Like the villains in Spartacus, they're written well enough to where when they succeed, you can kind of, even though they've done something terrible, like have, Spartacus kill his best friend, you're still like, wow, that was a great character. Yeah, that was so well written that you're like, oh, that was a plan that came together very well. This show doesn't really have that at any point. Because all of these characters are written to be pretty fucking awful, because that's what most of the Roman elite world was. Most of these, the higher up the chain you got, the worse the people became. And so we're dealing with the worst type of people, and there's no creative trick done to writing where you can at least be like, you can get into. So that's where the show has failed from the get-go, is that none of these characters, with the exception of two of them, and those two, don't you worry, we're gonna fuck them up before this show is over. Yeah. Trust me, we're gonna get to them.
Yeah, and I think that's a difference between this and Spartacus. Is with Spartacus. And I'm sure if you guys, or maybe Steve can remember specific moments, but was there ever a time when we were watching Spartacus where we were like, Spartacus is an awful person, we don't want to root for him at all?
The closest I ever got was in the last season, where his army just goes into a Roman city and they just butcher people who didn't do anything to them. Because they wanted the city. And I was like, oh, well, Spartacus just sits back and lets this happen. He lets his people do pretty awful things to innocent people. We're
going through multiple seasons of that.
So it wasn't until the last season that, that Spartacus kind of started to walk that line.
Yeah, and they really show throughout Spartacus show that there are actual good people throughout it. Like, Naevia is not a bad person. You can always root for her.
Yeah.
Who is the dumb gladiator that Steve liked in season 1 of Blood and Sand? Good dude. Good dude until he decided to cheat on his wife, right?
Vero, yeah.
Vero, but there's people who are like, okay, these are good to good-ish people overall. You don't really get that in Rome. Everyone is a horrible human being except for Jocasta, who's amazing. And Posca.
They didn't get enough time to really shine. They were introduced.
I want a whole show about Jocasta and Posca's relationship.
Their arc is
married. Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is their arc of the two of them and how their relation isn't that introduced in the literal last 2 episodes of this show? I mean, they get coupled together before that, but you don't see their dynamic until the last 2 episodes of this show, right?
I think so.
It's the last 2 or 3.
Yeah. So so it comes. It's too late.
Show I want to see. I want to see the adventures of Jocasta and Posca.
The happy adventures.
Because they're just so into each other.
Everything just works out for them.
He's just so happy to have a doting wife, and she's so happy that somebody was actually willing to take her off of the street, because her situation that Attia fucking put her in and never got any up and comings for it. That's another thing. The characters who are clearly written as villains, like Attia is this show's poor woman's Lucretia, or a Viva Bianca. It's she's the poor version of that, because those again in Spartacus, you can root for them to a certain extent, because you want to root for a smart character. Even watch Die Hard, Hans Gruber. He's the bad guy, but you can root for him because he's smart and his plan comes together.
We talked about Badiatus. We talked about how we love Badiatus, but he's just a despicable human being.
Asher is a horrible person.
Yeah.
He's one of my top 3 favorites from that show. Asher. That's why I'm so looking forward to his show and watching that and waiting for that show to just be a crumbling mess too.
We're not allowed to like it because it's got a person of color female.
There's a lady in it who holds a sword.
We're not allowed to.
And that's never happened in Spartacus. Ladies aren't strong in Spartacus.
So, final thoughts, gentlemen. Overall on Rome, 2 seasons on this rocky road. I will go ahead and start. I will say, I agree with Steve that when we first started rewatching this, that I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is just like I remember. It's going to be fun and exciting. And then it fell off a cliff for me. And yeah, it hurts me more than it hurts you. But you guys had to go along on this journey as well and suffer through it. So I guess I'll take some enjoyment on the misery of my friends for that, since that's allowed and that's okay.
That's always been allowed in our dynamic.
Blind. We're doing it this hand.
Oh shit! Yeah. So yeah, I will not revisit Rome again. Final thoughts, Steve, on overall Rome?
No, I mean I was into it until it wasn't. I think the point where Irene started showing interest in Pullo after he murdered.
Why won't it? It didn't let me go all in.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I hit all in, and it did not let me go all in.
I can't get out of this now.
It was still timer. Oh shit!
Yeah, we can't get out of this.
I mean, what do I do? Do you want me to go all in or not? Matt fucked it up.
I don't know what was going on. I was sitting there.
Whatever. I still haven't looked at my cards. Anyways, I mean, I don't know if this counts because I mean Matt's not in. I mean,
well, I'm not going all in again. Fuck you guys. Matt fucked up.
No, so. we're going all in again. We're going all in again.
No, I am not.
Again. Anyways, I think when Irene willingly got into a relationship with Pullo after Pullo had murdered the person she was actually in love with, I was just. That's the point where I was like, "What the hell is happening to these characters?"
Very
and
weird.
I don't think the show ever really recovered. Like by season 2, there was so much bloat and so many giant unexplained time jumps. The only character I cared about was Octavian, and he couldn't carry it. The show needed to just be about Octavian at that point, and it wasn't. So I got one character that I was still interested in, surrounded by characters that I gave no fucks about anymore.
Fair. Ronan, your final thoughts on Rome overall as a series?
Oh, I've already given the thoughts on that, but I can give it at the very least, like, the acting is good. It's not against the actors that that they were given bullshit to work with, and a lot of times they take this bullshit and, like, as we've mentioned several times, where this was a great scene in this shitty show, so good actors can take shit and turn it into something good, but it doesn't salvage the material.
I'm going in blind again because
I'm going to try this again. I'm
just going for it. I'm doing it.
And with that, folks, we're done with Rome, but the next time you hear something on Jupiter's Crock, we're going to be talking about House of Motherfucking Asher. Ronan, what do you expect from that show?
At this point, nothing. I'm going to go into it with this. I've watched the trailers. I'm not like, I'm going to expect such and such. No. It's like, I just hope it will be good. That is the most I can hope for. Like, I hope it is good because a lot of modern TV shows are just written. I was watching a Spartacus essay like the other day, and it mentioned at the end of it, and even showed like articles for it, where it's like, so like a lot of these streaming networks now, they tell their writing staff very specifically that you have to explain to the audience.
Oh boy.
Wow, Matt flopped a crate. Jesus Christ. Cut. I'm cutting all this from the episode. This will not be in the episode.
Let's leave it. Steve, your thoughts on House of Asher. How excited are you for that?
I am all in, super hyped. I will be disappointed if it is anything less than incredible.
Okay, me too. That's it. I'm leaving.
Thank you for listening to another middling episode of Jupiter's Crock. This is the final episode on Rome. We will talk to you again when House of Asher premieres, which is supposed to be later in the fall or
winter.
Or
it says. Yeah.
All right. Going away now. Bye.